The most terrifying predator to ever walk the earth, 65 million years of nightmares, the undisputed king of the dinosaurs, except it wasn't. 2024 research just obliterated everything paleontologists believed for over a century. Tyrannosaurus Rex wasn't the scaly, roaring monster Hollywood burned into your brain. It wasn't even close. The real creature was stranger, more unsettling, and far more intelligent than anyone dared imagine. 13 meters long, 9 tons of pure predatory evolution, jaws that could crush a car like aluminum foil, 12,800 pounds of bite force, more than any land animal in history. Then an asteroid ended everything, left behind scattered bones across Montana Badlands and questions deep enough to lose yourself in forever. What did this creature actually look like? How did it really hunt? Because here's what'll haunt you. More disturbing than getting T-Rex wrong for 100 years is discovering what it actually was. And the new evidence? We weren't slightly mistaken. We were catastrophically, embarrassingly wrong about its skin, its brain, even the sounds it made. Let's demolish a century of lies. I'm taking you back 68 million years to meet the real Tyrannosaurus Rex, and I promise you've never seen anything like it. Picture the Hell Creek Formation, late Cretaceous Montana, humid, subtropical, ferns everywhere. Something moves through the undergrowth, not the lumbering upright lizard from your childhood books. Something else entirely. 1905. Henry Fairfield Osborn names this creature Tyrannosaurus Rex, Tyrant Lizard King. Based on partial remains discovered by Barnum Brown in Montana 2 years earlier, Osborn imagines a giant reptile, cold-blooded, scaly, standing upright like a kangaroo with its tail dragging behind. That image stuck for decades. Museums built massive skeletons in that pose. Artists painted it that way. Generations of children grew up believing it. All wrong. The first major correction came in the 1970s. Paleontologist John Ostrom revolutionized dinosaur science with his dinosaur renaissance. He proposed something radical. Dinosaurs weren't sluggish, cold-blooded failures. They were active, warm-blooded, and potentially intelligent. T-Rex got repositioned. Horizontal spine, tail held straight out as counterbalance. Head forward like a massive battering ram. This biomechanical reality changed everything about how the animal moved and hunted, but that was just the beginning of corrections. Here's where it gets genuinely disturbing. The skin. For over a century, every depiction showed T-Rex covered in scales, reptilian, leathery, like a crocodile scaled up to nightmare proportions. New evidence suggests something radically different. In 2004, scientists discovered Delong paradoxus in China, a small tyrannosaur ancestor covered in primitive feathers. Then came Tyrannosaurus huali in 2012, 9 meters long, feathered across significant portions of its body, living proof that large tyrannosaurs could maintain feather coverings. The implications were immediate. If T-Rex's ancestors had feathers, did T-Rex itself? Research published in 2017 complicated matters. Analysis of skin impressions from T-Rex specimens showed scales on certain body parts, the tail, neck, and pelvis. This seemed to confirm the traditional scaly image, except it didn't. Those impressions only covered small patches, less than 1% of the animal's total surface area. Scientists extrapolating scales across the entire body were making assumptions not supported by evidence. Current consensus? T-Rex likely had a mix. Scales in some areas, possible feather coverage in others, perhaps downy filaments on the back and head, maybe bare skin elsewhere. Not the uniform reptile we imagined, something far stranger. Imagine a 9-ton predator with patches of primitive feathers, scales glinting on its tail, bare skin stretching across its jaw, a chimera of textures we have no modern comparison for. And it gets weirder. That iconic T-Rex roar. You know the one. Deep, rumbling, terrifying. Every movie, every documentary. That thunderous bellow that shakes the frame. Pure fiction. T-Rex couldn't roar. Physically impossible. Birds are dinosaurs' closest living relatives. Not crocodiles, not lizards. Birds? And birds don't have vocal cords. They have syrinxes, specialized organs that produce their sounds. But those don't fossilize. What we do know comes from another angle entirely. Recent studies of T-Rex anatomy revealed a closed mouth structure. The animal couldn't open its jaw wide enough while vocalizing to produce the sounds we associate with it. What did T-Rex actually sound like? 2016 research by Julia Clark at the University of Texas suggests something deeply unsettling. Based on studies of cassowaries and emus, large flightless birds descended from dinosaurs, T-Rex likely produced closed-mouth vocalizations, low-frequency booms, rumbles you'd feel in your chest before you heard them, infrasound, below the range of human hearing, traveling miles through Cretaceous forests. Imagine standing in that prehistoric jungle, you don't hear T-Rex coming, you feel it, your bones vibrate, the air pressure changes, then silence, then death. Far more terrifying than any Hollywood roar. But here's where 2024 research truly devastates previous understanding. The brain. T-Rex wasn't some mindless killing machine. It may have been one of the most intelligent creatures of its era. Dr. Susanna Herculano Huzel published groundbreaking research suggesting T-Rex possessed approximately 3.3 billion neurons in its forebrain. That's comparable to modern baboons. Primates known for complex social behaviors, tool use, and problem solving. The implications sent shockwaves through paleontology. A T-Rex with primate-level intelligence could have hunted cooperatively, could have remembered individual prey animals, could have planned ambushes, could have recognized itself, could have theoretically passed down learned behaviors across generations, cultural transmission in dinosaurs. Let that sink in. Not everyone agrees. A 2024 rebuttal study argued Herculano Huzel's methodology was flawed, that she overestimated brain tissue density, that T-Rex intelligence was likely closer to crocodiles, still impressive, but not primate level. The debate continues, but even conservative estimates place T-Rex among the smartest non-avian dinosaurs ever discovered. If you're the kind of person who finds prehistoric mysteries irresistible, if you want to know what else science has gotten catastrophically wrong, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. Because what comes next makes everything before look tame, and the revelations keep coming. Now, those arms, the single most mocked feature of any dinosaur, those tiny, seemingly useless limbs dangling from a 9-ton body. Comedy gold for decades, memes, jokes, an entire cultural punchline. Except those arms weren't useless at all. Each arm was over 1 meter long. Each could curl approximately 200 kilograms. That's stronger than most professional human weightlifters. The muscles attached to them were massive. So why were they so small relative to body size? Evolution doesn't waste energy. If those arms served no purpose, they would have disappeared entirely. Like whale hind limbs, like snake legs. Natural selection eliminates the unnecessary. Recent hypotheses suggest multiple potential functions: grappling prey during feeding, stabilizing during mating, pushing off the ground when rising from rest, holding struggling animals while jaws delivered killing bites. 2022 research proposed something darker. Those arms may have been slashing weapons, short-range combat tools covered in feathers that could have hidden them from prey until the last moment. Death from angles victims couldn't anticipate. Then there's the 2024 study suggesting T-Rex arms may have experienced evolutionary reduction due to social feeding behavior. If multiple T-Rex fed together on large carcasses, and there's evidence they did, longer arms would have been dangerous. Accidental bites from feeding companions could cause life-threatening infections. Shorter arms kept them out of the danger zone. This challenges another Hollywood myth: the lone predator, T-Rex as solitary hunter, the isolated killer stalking through prehistoric forests. Evidence now suggests otherwise. Mass death sites in Montana contain multiple T-Rex specimens of different ages: juvenile, adolescent, adult, all dying together. Possible evidence of pack behavior, family groups, coordinated hunting. Imagine not one 9-ton predator closing in. 5. Working together, communicating with infrasonic booms you can't even hear. And they were faster than we thought. Traditional estimates place T-Rex top speed around 17 kilometers per hour, a brisk human jog, laughably slow for a supposed apex predator. This fueled decades of scavenger theory debates. Maybe T-Rex wasn't a hunter at all. Maybe it just ate what was already dead. 2020 research changed everything. Biomechanical modeling using advanced computer simulations suggested T-Rex could sustain speeds of at least 20 kilometers per hour. Sprint bursts potentially reaching 28, 30 kilometers per hour. Not Olympic sprinter fast, but fast enough. Fast enough to catch the herbivores of its ecosystem. Triceratops, Edmontosaurus, Ankylosaurs. None could outrun a determined T-Rex. The hunting strategy wasn't pursuit anyway. It was ambush, hide, wait. That massive skull lowered, those legs coiled. Then an explosion of 9-ton force covering ground in strides measuring 4 meters each. Victims wouldn't have seen it coming. They would have felt the vibration, then impact. Those jaws, those incredible jaws, 60 serrated teeth, some over 30 centimeters long. Bone-crushing capabilities unmatched by any land predator before or since. Studies show T-Rex could bite through solid bone like we bite through bread. But it gets more disturbing. Analysis of Tyrannosaur coprolites, fossilized feces, revealed something unexpected. Pulverized bone fragments throughout. T-Rex didn't just kill prey. It consumed entire skeletons, crushed bones for marrow and nutrients. A walking disposal unit leaving almost nothing behind. This explains why complete dinosaur skeletons from T-Rex territories are relatively rare. The predator was so thorough that prey animals simply ceased to exist after consumption, and those teeth replaced constantly, like sharks, a conveyor belt of weapons cycling forward as older teeth wore down or broke. Over its lifetime, a single T-Rex might go through thousands of teeth. We found some of those teeth embedded in prey bones. Triceratops skulls with tooth marks gouged into them, puncture wounds healing over, suggesting attacks that victims survived. Evidence of repeated confrontations between predator and prey. A 2023 study revealed something remarkable about T-Rex lips. The teeth weren't perpetually exposed like a crocodile's. They were likely covered by lips when the mouth was closed. This would have kept teeth moist and maintained their cutting efficiency. The Hollywood image of a perpetually snarling, teeth-bared monster, wrong again. With its mouth closed, T-Rex would have looked almost normal, unremarkable. Then the lips pulled back. The nightmare revealed itself. How do we know all this? How are scientists constantly revising something that died 65 million years ago? The answer lies in Spectacular Preservation, 2005. Dr. Mary Schweitzer discovered something impossible inside a T-Rex femur from Montana. Soft tissue, blood vessels, proteins, material that should have degraded completely within 1 million years maximum. Initial reaction? Contamination. Must be modern organic material somehow introduced during excavation. Repeated testing proved otherwise. The organic material belonged to the dinosaur itself, somehow preserved for 68 million years against all expectations. This opened entirely new research avenues: protein analysis, collagen sequences, information that bones alone could never provide. The molecular revolution in paleontology began, and it keeps revolutionizing. 2024 research using artificial intelligence and machine learning analyzes bone structures in ways impossible just years ago. Growth patterns, disease markers, injury histories. Individual T-Rex are becoming biographies, not just skeletons. We know some T-Rex suffered from gout, from bone infections, from cancerous tumors. One specimen shows evidence of trichomoniasis, a parasitic infection that still affects modern birds. It would have caused painful mouth lesions that slowly prevented eating. These weren't invincible monsters. They were animals, vulnerable, mortal. and they lived surprisingly short lives. Growth ring analysis suggests T-Rex reached adulthood around age 20. Maximum lifespans barely exceeded 30 years. In that brief window, they grew from turkey-sized hatchlings to 9-ton apex predators. The growth rate was extraordinary, teenagers gaining over 2 kilograms daily, a metabolic furnace burning through everything it could catch. This brings us back to the beginning, the end, 66 million years ago. An asteroid 10 kilometers wide struck the Yucatan Peninsula with the force of billions of nuclear bombs. Within hours, everything changed. Shockwaves, wildfires, nuclear winter, temperatures plummeting, food chains collapsing entirely. T-Rex survived the initial impact. Studies of bone chemistry suggest populations persisted for months, possibly years afterward. But without prey, without warmth, without their ecosystem, extinction was inevitable. The king fell, not from combat, not from competition, from cosmic bad luck. So there it is. Our journey back to the real Tyrannosaurus Rex, not the scaly, roaring, stupid beast of Hollywood fantasy, something stranger. Feathered in places, booming instead of roaring, intelligent enough to potentially recognize individuals, social enough to hunt together, powerful enough to consume entire skeletons. For 100 years, we built museums full of lies, painted pictures of creatures that never existed, told children stories about monsters that weren't real. The truth is different, more complex, more fascinating, and we're still learning. Every year brings new discoveries, new revelations, new demolitions of things we thought we knew. Scientists were completely wrong about T-Rex. They're probably still wrong about things we haven't discovered yet. That's the beauty of it. 65 million years of mystery, and we're only just beginning to understand.